This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, who is going to put his phone in airplane mode to start this interview. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Here we are, October 19th, 2021, and I've got a return guest. But we have a return guest celebrating an anniversary because it is the 45th anniversary of Carrie, the Just Say No to Fire movie. And I have a wonderful guest on the show with me today. I've had on before one of Carrie's tormentors, Miss Terry Bolo. How do you do, Terry?
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Not too bad. And of
You're
course, I
so
know,
far away.
huh?
You're so far away. New Brunswick.
Yeah, I'm 4 hours ahead of you.
Wow. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
4 hours by time zone, a little different in terms of travel. Yeah, I know you wanted to see this.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I got this at my very first con. And of course, there's Sissy Spacek front and center, and
That's great.
we got William Catt there. We have John Travolta, Nancy Allen, who I had the pleasure of having on this year. I was so stoked to get her. And over here, Piper Laurie,
Mm.
PJ Souls, misbehaving PJ with her hat on, Amy Irving. Everybody agrees, including Nancy Allen, that Amy Irving should not have been allowed to keep her bra on during that shower scene when everybody else had to take off. Yeah, I think you said the same thing, but Nancy also echoed it. And here we have Betty Buckley.
Betty.
Yes, look at that. All right.
That is awesome.
Now the only thing missing is you and Deidre on there.
I know.
Yeah, they need to put you guys on there, and Edie.
Oh, Edie. Oh my God.
Edie McClurg.
I just watched her last night in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I just watched it for the first time. Edie's always so funny.
Yeah, when you look at Ferris Bueller's Day Off, her brief scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She worked with Rodney Dangerfield twice, once in Natural Born Killers, but I liked her best with Rodney and Back to School. She didn't even share a scene with Rodney. She was just hired to take down all his notes. She copied down everything the teacher said. She was Mr. Thornton Millen's secretary. Yeah. No, no, Carrie's celebrating 45 years. What do you think of that?
Whoosh. Wow. It I can't get over the longevity and the mileage I've gotten out of this. I mean, it was one of the very first things I ever worked on for a long period of time. And we were all so excited, to be there and everything. And we just thought it was just, crazy little, scary movie. Never realized it would create, such a following and go on to be a cult classic hit.
Well, that was a big year for De Palma because he did Obsession that same year, So he's got two. I had somebody from Obsession on earlier this year too. So two from De Palma that year. So he was very busy.
I was especially excited to work with him because I had seen some of his earlier movies that I really liked, Greetings and Hi Mom and
Sisters. I love Sisters, The Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, Phantom of the Paradise, yeah. So, I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. Brian De Palma.
Yeah. But no, 1976, a big year for him. And of course, after that, he'd go on to make one of my favorites of his films, which is Dressed to Kill. I love Dressed to Kill. Yeah. So anyway, 45 years. So I got this at my very first con. And like I said, I've lived here in New Brunswick my whole life. and I said this a million times on here, and I'll say it again. I was invited to a con by an actress I was interviewing to a sister at her table, and I got the bug. In fact, at the end of this month, I'm going to Frightmare in the Falls in Niagara Falls. So
Frightmare.
yeah,
Oh,
so I'm going to do that, and but I remember that first one. It was Twisted Teas, the name of the company. I got a Carrie shirt, a Suspiria shirt, and a Black Christmas shirt. And
oh wow.
yeah, these were so well done. What I liked, I bought, I think it was, I don't remember. I bought one of them, and then I come back the next day, and I wanted to buy another one, but I couldn't figure out between two other titles. I forget the one I bought the first day, but they gave me a break. They gave a reduced price on the both shirts, and I was like, they didn't have to do that, but I ended up with 3 shirts, and
Do they have a website? They probably have a lot of other really cool
yeah,
selections.
yeah, they do. I don't know if they'll be at Frightmare, but they've been at Horrorama all 3 years I've been there, and they do some really nice shirts like this Carrie one. This is nice, you know.
Hmm.
I'll let you get another look at that.
It's
'Cause I
really
know you
good.
want to.
I
Yeah,
know it's really good.
yeah. I got a Suspiria and I got a Black Christmas one as well. So yeah, the Suspiria one was made was like blue and purple and colors like that. It was just lavish,
Yeah,
beautiful.
very colorful. Yeah,
Hmm.
great.
So yeah, I got this, and it I always marvel at, because I see so many movies where people do, you get teen movies where people do not look like teenagers. It's amazing how
Well,
Sissy Spacek pulled this off at 27 years old, and she looked like a teenager.
we were all a little too old for that. I think Edie was one of the oldest people. Sorry, Edie. But I know we were like the world's oldest teenagers. But yeah, everybody did look pretty good actually,
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
Yep. Yeah. So I kudos to Sissy Spacek, because um, she looked like a teenager, and it's all in her presentation. She pulled it off. So yeah, and I think she was married to her husband at that time too. So
Yeah. Hmm.
Jack Fisk, yeah.
Yeah, they had met on Badlands, I think. Hmm.
Badlands or Phantom of the Paradise, one or the other.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was Badlands.
Yeah, because I think she
But
was a set dresser on Phantom of the Paradise, which I found kind of funny, but but
oh, really? She was?
I think I read somewhere about that. I don't know, don't quote me on it, but nonetheless. But regarding Carrie, what would you say was your, this is a loaded question, but what would you say was your greatest memory of being on set for that movie?
Greatest memory. Well, the prom set was pretty cool.
Hmm.
We did, so that was real impressive, and it was a lot of fun, and it took a long time. It lasted a long time. It was supposed to be what, one evening, and
Hmm.
we shot it for weeks. And the all the other scenes, like at the school, we were at a school, a real school. It was an abandoned school, Pure Avenue Elementary School in Hermosa Beach, and we would carpool out there, some of the actresses. And but yeah, that prom, when we got on that prom set, that was like whoa, you know, because it was big, and it was elaborate, and so it was impressive. Yeah, so you know, I was stoked. I mean, like I said, I was like Alice in Wonderland, you know, just the whole thing. I was just so impressed with everything and so excited to be there. But yeah, I remember how much I loved the prom set. I think maybe part of the reason was because I never went to my own prom.
I
um
shouldn't have went to mine. I hated my prom.
it's like, oh my God, here I am finally at a prom on a movie set. Well, but I wasn't into school at the time. I worked in a movie theater, and I was all, you know, seeing movies all the time and hanging out with my movie theater friends. And so it's like the school that was all kind of, passe, because I was, like a little hippie flower child type. And so that all rah-rah school stuff, football, cheerleader, prom, that was passe to me. That was like, what? We're not in the 50s anymore. You know what I mean? So it didn't mean anything to me. So I finally got to go to the prom on Carrie.
What a great way to go. I got to admit, I loved how practical it was too. Like even like the gleaming stars added so much to the look of that film, and then the prom.
And it was elaborate, but also it did look like kids did it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the glittered stars and the crepe paper streamers and everything. Yeah.
You said
That was,
you worked at a movie theater. Any movies that in particular that you remember seeing there for free?
oh my God, I saw so many movies for free, because not only did I work in a movie theater, but all my friends worked in other movie theaters, and we all got movie passes all the time. So I was going to movies every day, sometimes a couple times a day for free. And this is in the late 60s, early 70s. So that whole time period, all those fabulous movies, um, from Bonnie and Clyde, which I probably saw about 25 times, to Easy Rider, to oh my God, there's just did you ever hear the book? You must have heard of the book, Easy Riders, Raging Bulls.
Yeah.
Peter Bart, is it? Peter Bart.
Yep.
It's all about that time period and how the movies were kind of stuck in the 50s or late, with all the big musicals, and that were starting to bomb, and they couldn't understand it. But the times they were changing, man, right? So all these young people, fresh out of film school, were coming up with all these ideas and cheap scripts, and making a movie for $100,000 and earning millions. And so it really changed the film business. So it was a very exciting time, and to see all those movies for free. I worked at the Pantages Theater, which is now a legit house. All the big Broadway musicals go there now, which it was built as a vaudeville house. So they showed movies and they had stage shows. So it was elaborate stage and sets, and all the light boards and the flies, and I mean, it is a big, beautiful, legit theater as well as a movie theater. So that's where I worked. And everybody else, worked at other movie theaters around in Hollywood. So yeah, I saw all those movies of that time, which it was a really exciting time, I thought. It's
Yeah.
still,
Well,
you couldn't make those movies today. A lot of those movies, they wouldn't get made today.
I know. I wish cancel culture would take a flying leap. I almost had I'm getting tired of it, I almost had an altercation today at work with I'm double vaxxed and everything, but it's like I did it so I could travel, go to the con there in Toronto and whatnot. I did what I was supposed to, but this has happened twice to me. Once at the mall and once at this building I was cleaning at because I'm an essential worker. I was helping today have somebody clean windows, and we had to, of course, do those high things, and hard on the arms and shoulders. But I was bringing some equipment down, and I had my mask, but it was down like this because I was drinking a tea. Some guy gets off the elevator and tells me, you're supposed to be wearing your mask, and I'm holding my tea up, and he tells me I'm supposed to drink a dedicated I get so tired of that. It's like I wanted to tell him to go make himself a drink of mind your own business.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know we're living in some really difficult times, and that's why it's nice that people like you are doing things like this, where we can all still have a good time and enjoy stuff, and talk about things that we like and enjoy, and all that. So you just have to just let it go and move on, and immerse yourself in things that you care about, and
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't bother me whether somebody's vaxxed or unvaxxed. I just don't get the pitching one against the other thing that I seem to see going on all the time now, I've been going back to the movie theater, going back to that since July 2020, I never felt nervous about it. I just went and just did my thing, and And judging from what the box office has been the last couple of weeks with Halloween Kills, James Bond, Venom, I'd say people want to get back.
Yeah. And it's interesting, although this has been happening since before COVID, the streaming, so you can watch movies in a lot of different ways. And I guess maybe it's part of getting a little older, but I haven't been to movie theaters, very much in the last few years because there are other ways to
Well, you've kind of made up
content.
for it back in the 60s.
I sure did. Oh boy, did I ever. Yeah. Oh, and another one of the movies at that time that I wanted to mention was Midnight Cowboy. Oh my God, one of my
I
favorite movies.
love Midnight Cowboy. I interviewed you remember that little scene with the pregnant woman and the lawn where the pregnant woman was there with another woman, and Dustin Hoffman was, instead of he tried to find a way to get John Voight's laundry done. So he goes, "Let me help you with that. Let me help you with that." And he's sticking the laundry in, but sticking John Voight's in as well.
Oh, to wash it for free?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, the pregnant woman I've had on here, Tina Scala, I had her on here from Midnight Cowboy, which was yeah. It's a Midnight Cowboy came out 3 years before I was born. So it's always interesting to look at that and like, this is authentic. This is back when locations had a real personality, and yeah. Yeah, I would have been 4 the year this came out. 4. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so old. Wow, you sure missed a lot. I like to say that to people and they say, "Oh, well, I was born in 1980." Boy, you sure missed a lot.
Yeah, I was born in the 70s. People have even today ask me if I remember any of the 70s. I remember a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I remember a lot more of the 80s and 90s, but
Well, like Quentin Tarantino made a movie that took place in 1969. He was what, 6 or 7, and he his memories were so vivid. I mean, the things that he put in that movie were really personal things that he remembered, images that he had,
mhm.
and so yeah, you do remember a lot, especially when you're impressed with stuff. He seemed like the kind of person that's like, wowed by everything, especially at a young age. So yeah, you were there.
You
You
there.
can say you were there.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, so do you get recognized today from being in this movie?
Gosh, Greg, that's a funny question. Actually, I have a couple of times and it just freaked me out. It's like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. And it's because people watch it over and over and over.
Mhm.
And I made sure I stuck my face in there wherever I could. And so I was working at my last job, the Dearly Departed tours. You have to see my ex-boss, Scott Michaels. He does a lot of YouTube content. He has a channel and he does a lot of videos now that he's not doing tours. But anyway, so I was working at the tour office, and we get people from all over, of course, coming in to take tours. And so this guy comes up to me and goes, "Were you in Carrie?" Yeah. And he recognized me because he watched it so many times because it's one of his favorite movies. So yes, I have, Greg. I have been recognized.
There you go. There you go. I've seen that movie many, many times as well. Like I said, there was this rumor going around, like even Nancy Allen was didn't know anything about either about Deidre,
Mhm.
but saying that she was passed away. Well, I found her.
That's great.
And the only
Yeah.
reason I found her is because somebody wrote an article on this and wrote about it. And I was like, this is not the first time I've heard this where somebody was pronounced dead when they're really alive. This this has
How did
happened a
that
few
get
times.
started? I know, it's
I
weird.
don't know. We lost the wrestler Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff this year for real. Passed away. But there was a time in his past where apparently he got up and read the paper and his obituary was in there, and he said it was news to him.
Wow.
He didn't catch that.
Unbelievable.
Yep. So I don't know where that all gets started, but I'll see if I can get her on here and see what she remembers. Her and that Bob haircut.
Oh, her Dorothy Hamill haircut. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
That was really cute on her. Her and Cindy Daly, they were supposed to be twin sisters. In the book,
Mm-hmm.
there's twin sisters in the book. So I guess they're fraternal. Was it fraternal is not identical? Yeah. But anyway, they had lines. They were cast in roles, and because of the cuts, I don't think they were cut out on purpose, but they ended up, all their lines were cut. And so it's like I'm in the movie, I think more than they are. And I was a non-union extra.
Yeah, Cindy Daly's another one I got to reach out to at some point.
Somebody contacted me a few years ago and said that Cindy was her aunt. And I can't remember who that person is now, but it's like, oh, wow, really? Yeah. I haven't heard from her in a while. Yeah, they were both really sweet girls. Yeah. We
Mm-hmm.
had so much fun. There was like this familial feeling on the set. It really was. Everybody was really friendly and fun. And Sissy, even though she was sweet and friendly to everybody, she tried to stay off to herself because of her character.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to, get to be too, friendly with any of us, because she was constantly, working, on her character and preparing and all that. So we all understood that. And but everyone else, it was like summer camp. I mean, we were just having the best time, and we had long hours. And I don't know why he did this, but Brian let us all come to watch the dailies like every day. And so we'd be working 12, 14 hours, then we'd go watch dailies. I mean, and it was, I've never seen that happen before. I had never, unless there was something I knew the filmmakers, I'd never gone and watched dailies before on anything.
You didn't do that on Little Miss Sunshine?
No, no. That was just a couple of days. I don't know. I think I worked on that 3 or 4 days. I had a couple more scenes I got cut out of that, but that was a fun show to work on too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's the only time ever. And I don't know why Brian let us all do that. But I just, especially, at the time, I didn't think that much of it. It's like, oh, well, this is cool. But then it never happened again. I never, except when I worked on a Big Wednesday, and
Mm-hmm.
I was part of the production team and everything. And so of course I went and saw dailies, when we worked on that. But there's only 2 times
Mm-hmm.
that.
Well, as I mentioned, I had Nancy Allen on here back in August. That was one of my bucket list, and I was so happy to get her. Of course, We Spark Cancer. She's an executive director behind that, and I made a donation to that, and I got her on here. And you do what you have to do. But I
Exactly.
got her on here, and had a nice chat with her. One of the things we talked about was when the girls were being punished by Betty Buckley and doing the exercise. I said to her, I asked her if she was athletic, because when watching you girls being punished, and I'm always watching Nancy Allen, because she's the only one that she was bending herself right in half, touching her toes, doing the setups, or when they were doing the jumping jack, she was just out, legs, arms, and
She looks like a dancer. I wonder if she was a dancer.
she told me she was a dancer.
Oh, okay.
And I spoke to her, and she said that she was supposed to make it look difficult, so she made the push-ups look difficult, but you could tell with the setup she was touching her toes, and I was like, yeah, she was in good shape. But it was also funny, in counter to that, PJ Souls kept screwing everything up.
Yeah, that was several days doing that. So that was pretty strenuous.
Yeah, but every time I watch that movie, one thing that comes to mind is that when I was in school, we weren't allowed to wear caps in school. I don't know how.
Mm.
PJ Soul's character got to wear a cap at school. We that was always funny to me in that movie.
Was it what is it, a parochial school you went to?
Nope,
Because
we weren't allowed to wear caps.
lots of, yeah, they don't like kids to differentiate themselves from that. But I don't know if you know this. That was PJ's hat. She wore it to the interview,
Mm-hmm.
and Brian liked it. I mean, he expanded her role. He really, made her much more prominent than the character was in the script. And he loved her cap, when she wore it, and she'll probably tell you that. But all these little, tidbits, that you hear about, the backstory of things, and how it all comes together. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. It's like she wanted to stand out, so she wore that cap to the interview.
Did you girls ever pull her pigtails?
No,
You ever
no.
took those and get kind of like that? Yeah, no, and but no, I've seen this movie so many times. 45 years old, and wow, and it still gets brought up a lot today. You see a lot of merch out, especially at cons. Do you ever get to do the cons?
I never have, and I would. I mean, being a bit player, you're not usually the first people they go to ask for this stuff, but I would be happy to, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. And my friend does some of the ones for Big Wednesday, and I said, I'd be happy to tag along if you do another one of those, but because I was party girl number, I don't know, 2 or 3 in that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There are people out there that like to get every single signature on a poster or Blu-ray or whatnot. There's those completists like that. So I would think that there'd be people out there that would want to see you at a
Yeah.
con.
I think you're right, Greg, and there are a lot of people who do like to watch the background players or the bit actors, and well, Tommy Kovac, and he loves the bit players and the background people, and he makes it a point of finding out who they are and everything. He found me, and so yeah, so there are people, so yeah, I have fans, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I noticed Deidre and her little bob haircut. So
Yeah.
yeah.
See, so you notice people, especially when you see a movie that you really like and you watch it over and over again, and you start to focus on other people
Well,
instead of just.
I noticed cute girls.
Okay,
Right
there
away,
you
I
go.
noticed cute girls. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I know this even from the last interview between you and Nancy Allen, I know you both hinted that Amy Irving keeping the bra on in the shower.
Well, now there's a lot of little stories about some of the other people in the movie. Like, a lot of people may not know that Amy Irving's mother played her mother,
Yeah, Priscilla Pointer. Yep.
and that let's see, um, Harry Gold, he's the father of Tracy Gold, who is
Hmm.
on Growing Pains, I think.
Yep.
Um, so and then all the Michael Talbot went on to be in Miami Vice, and so all these different little stories about what people, who they were related to, or what they did after the movie, or and even John Travolta wasn't that big of a star when
Who?
John Travolta.
Who? Who's that? Who's that?
So
Who
yeah,
is he in the movie?
and an interesting story about Piper Laurie. She came out of
She
retirement
came out of retirement. Yeah, she hadn't done a movie since The Hustler. She was retired for 15 years.
15 years, and she got nominated for The Hustler. She leaves the business, comes back 15 years later, gets nominated for Carrie.
How
Man,
how rare is that? Because
just think of all those movies in between she might have made. But
Sissy Spacek got nominated too. You don't see horror films get nominated a lot. Janet Leigh did for Psycho. I have no idea why they passed up Anthony Perkins for a nomination for that. I'll never figure that out. But outside, maybe, you know, The Exorcist took a few nominations. Silence of the Lambs, of course, was a big one to win, but you don't see a lot of it when it comes to horror.
Hmm.
Yep. But horror film fans are some of the most interesting. Like I've been to one Comic Con and I've been to 3 Horror-ramas, and I'm about to do Frightmare in the Falls, and I got nothing against Comic Con. It was fun, a lot of fun, a lot of great cosplay. But in terms of the experience, I got to say the horror cons are they feel like a community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed through the whole thing. So so I don't know. So I look forward to doing more of that. Do you keep in touch with any of the cast today?
Well, Doug Cox and who was
The
what's
Beak?
it called? The Beak, and Edie McClurg and I, we were all in the Groundlings together. And there was one other girl who was in the background with me, Cynthia Schuler. She moved away, but the 4 of us were in the Groundlings together. And the way we all got cast is the casting director, Harriet Hellberg, was married to another Groundling pal of ours, Sandy Hellberg, and whose son is on Big Bang Theory, Simon Hellberg. Anyway, I love, you know, all the little relations of people in the business. But anyway, so we were all together in the Groundlings, and for those of you who don't know, the Groundlings will soon be celebrating 50 years in Los Angeles.
How could that be when you're
And
only 39?
I was a founding member. I was 5, and so anyway, the Groundlings, we're kind of a loose knit, you know, big extended dysfunctional family. And you know, Lorraine Newman was in that, and her daughter was nominated for an Emmy this year for Hacks, and Hannah Einbinder. So the Groundlings, we all would get together like at the theater when they have a new show open. They invite the alumni, and you know, we all stand up and wave to everybody, you know, and they introduce us, and you know, that's always kind of fun. So there is this kind of loose connection, and some Groundlings are better friends than others in real life. But Doug and Edie and I have stayed pretty friendly. So yeah, but that's about it as far as that goes.
I
Other
heard
cast,
Doug Cox is pretty recluse.
you know, I tried to get him to talk about it, you know, with Tommy, and he was really dragging his feet. And I said, you know, Tommy loves us all. You know, he loves the Groundlings. You know, he'd love to talk to you. So I think he's gonna talk to somebody. Yeah, he's kind of shy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind having him on here and talk about
Oh,
that tuxedo.
oh my God, I know. Can you believe that? And when we did the 40th anniversary party and show and fundraiser, I mean, people came in costume, and there was a lot of people in the tuxedo t-shirts. I said, "Look, Doug, they're playing you." It was so funny.
What about Edie McClurg? Is she open to doing podcasts?
She's not really well these days.
Oh, is she not?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's I don't think she hasn't worked in a while, and I haven't seen her in a while, but I was helping her out, and but yeah, she's retired pretty much, and
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I always liked her voice, you know, like especially the way like her back and forth, and like I said, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Back to School, you know, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Small moments, but she holds her own so well.
Well, she's just a gem. And you know, interesting thing, it's like most people, it's like, oh, young, you know, the youth, you know, but it's like Edie was playing an old lady when she was in her late 20s, early 30s. You know, that character that she's gotten, you know, made a whole career out of and bought her house off of, you know, she created it in the Groundlings, or it was something that was in her repertoire even before the Groundlings. But she's been doing a similar character like that since she was in her late 20s. And in Cheech and Chong's next movie, she's
Hmm.
probably 30 years old, and they're calling her grandma.
You got to remember, they're playing stoned people, though. Or actually, they could have been, for all we know.
Yeah, but she just really hit on something. You know, that character was just so marketable, and
Hmm.
you know, kudos to her for that. You know, and she's a scream. She's absolutely hilarious. And yes, she does steal every scene that she's in.
Yeah. Well, let's look at that thing behind you, that Carrie picture. Let's look at that.
Well, this was from the 40th anniversary show and party that Nancy Allen put on. So they gave these out, and it's, you know, it's all red, and it's Bloody Carrie, and it was October 14th. It's 5 years ago. Ace Hotel downtown, which is the old United Artists. Beautiful, beautiful theater. They had it all. The lobby was all decorated like the prom, with the silver stars and
Hmm.
everything. And people came in costume. One guy made his own gym shirt, like we had,
Yeah.
with the Bates High School Stingers. Bates High School,
Hmm.
ring a bell? Bates
What
Motel.
could that
Bates.
possibly be from? What could that possibly be from?
Oh, I can't get it up there now again. Okay, anyway, um,
Look, you're
so
falling apart.
so this guy made his own T-shirt, and I'm thinking, oh man. And you know, I had liberated my T-shirt from the wardrobe department. They wouldn't let us keep them, so we took them. But I got rid of it. It's like I had all these great T-shirts, and I don't know, thrown out, cleaning out drawers and closets, and I threw away so many show T-shirts that I wish I had today.
You do that
Oh no, I don't know what I was thinking.
for? You guys were punished in those.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You guys had
I
to
did.
jog on the spot and do jumping
I did
jacks.
wear it. I did wear it in another movie though, which I thought was kind of funny, but I'm sure no one picked up on. I worked on Incredible Shrinking Woman with
Okay,
Lily
I
Tomlin,
remember that.
and
Yeah.
I was like a jogger shopper, in the grocery store, and I wore it, as my wardrobe for in that movie.
I'll never envy Sissy Spacek's experience. I've never talked to her, but just going by what I've heard through interviews and whatnot, her and that the pig's blood, and having to be in that as long as she had.
I mean, imagine coming to work in the morning and getting covered with corn syrup and having to be like that for 12, 14 hours every day for weeks.
Were you there when they put that on her? Like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not talking about when they dumped it on her for the scene, but just when they
Oh, I
had
tell you
to.
something about that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, watching them put it on her and looking at the photos, and making sure the stains look the same, and yeah, every day. It
Oh,
was corn syrup with something else in it. I don't know, maybe it was milk or something, and then food coloring. So, but when they dropped the bucket, I don't know if you noticed this, but look really close next time. It wasn't a very good hit, and they only did it once, and it really didn't even it got her hair and a little bit on the side, and it's like it didn't really cover her.
hmm.
But later, the way they put the blood on her, when you see the blood drop on her, it's not very good.
Hmm.
They should have done it.
Oh, I'm sure Sissy Spacek would have loved it if they did it 25 times.
Yeah, but it didn't really cover that well. It's like her hair, it's like it fell on her hair, and so it kind of deflected from the dress. So it didn't really cover the whole front of her dress, but they just made it up, that way later.
I could
Ugh,
imagine how uncomfortable that would be. You have to go home
it's
and sleep
sticky.
in that, and
Well, she probably showered before she left the set, but yeah, it just, all day. It's just real sticky, this gooey, sticky stuff all over you. Yeah.
covered up all of her freckles. But I know you didn't have any scenes of Piper Laurie, but do you did you meet her on the set for that, or was that just separate
I
from you
did.
altogether?
They were using me as a stand-in sometimes for Sissy,
Hmm.
and then I think I was her stand-in in the closet scene when the house is falling apart. So she came on the set in her nightgown, and I introduced myself. I said, I'm Terry. I'll be standing in for you in this scene today. It's like, okay. And but it's like you don't converse too much with them because they're preparing. They're
Hmm.
doing their inner work, for the shot. So I just wanted to just be polite and just say hi. And I was kind of in awe of her as well. And then when we did that 40th anniversary, I ended up sitting right next to her. I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting right next to Piper Laurie, watching her watch herself on screen. It was just surreal.
Did you guys throw tampons at Sissy Spacek at that reunion, or did she decide not to show up in fear of
She,
that?
I don't know why she wasn't there. I
Probably
forget.
because she didn't want tampons thrown at her, or a bucket of blood dump over her head. She's weary of this now.
It just really is amazing how long it's lasted, how much it's loved, and what, two remakes and a play. I finally saw the play in a small theater. I didn't see it, and actually the play, it's a musical. It was done at the same theater where we had the 40th. I think it was done at that theater, but I didn't see that production. I saw like a smaller, LA, little local theater production of it, and I liked it. I thought it was really good, and I thought the music was good. I really liked it. I'd like to see it put up again. But and to think that it was Stephen King's first novel, and he almost didn't finish it. He threw it away, and
Wow.
his wife fished it out of the trash and said, "You should finish this."
It's funny because we hear about how Stephen King hated the film version of The Shining, you know?
Hmm.
And it's funny because apparently he liked Carrie, but the film version of Carrie is quite different from the book in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I find it interesting that he enjoyed Carrie. Not that he shouldn't, but you get my point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, sometimes it's like either he felt it was an improvement, or he didn't mind it, or he could see why it was done, or
Hmm.
But yeah, that's cool. It must be very satisfying for him that such a good film was made out of it. I mean, it really holds up. I mean, Brian De Palma, he always had something in his movie that just grabbed you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there any of the cast that you haven't seen since the movie?
Oh, a lot of them. Well, later, William Catt and I worked together on Big Wednesday,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to think of who else. I s- I haven't really seen too many people since then. I actually ended up going out a couple times with Michael Talbot, and oh, let's see. I think I saw Noel North at a couple of actory type functions. And like I said, I ran into PJ again at the book signing. Betty Buckley, I'm not sure. So, yeah, but people I know, worked with her on other things, but
Oh, she was in Split.
Split.
I saw her in that, and I was like, "Come on, Betty, step up your game. Walk up to James McAmore and smack him, just
I
like
didn't,
you did Nancy Allen."
I didn't realize, that she was a triple threat. That she's such a good singer.
Hmm.
I didn't realize that at the time either. But trying to think of who else. There are a few crew people that I worked with again. Um, the
No, but
AD.
I was talking about people that you haven't seen since the movie.
Well, most of them.
Oh, most of
Yeah, most of
them.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how are you getting off Carrie? How are you dealing with the whole pandemic thing? Is things starting to simmer down or quiet down, or are things still spiking in your area?
Well, I've just been laying low pretty much. And I haven't heard of too many people getting sick. It's just, I feel like the more I stay home, the more I don't feel like going anywhere. And I've always been used to being home alone, and so I've been reading a lot, watching a lot of movies, and seeing a few people. But yeah, and it's not. I don't go out and party as like I used to, but I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying my downtime and my quiet time, and so I've been weathering it okay, I guess. I know it's harder on other people.
Yeah. Well, you know what? 45 years, and I think if memory serves me right, I gotta check because I have your IMDb on here. Little Miss Sunshine, that's celebrating an anniversary this year too. Yeah, 15 years. Came out
Wow.
in 2006. I saw that in the theater. You're two people I've interviewed from that because Jeff Mead is in that.
And Paul, the kid, Paul, the brother, Paul, what's his name?
Uh, just give me a second. I'm gonna click on that.
Yeah. He's really interesting. I remember I really was attracted to him. I thought, he's a really interesting
Oh,
young
Paul
actor.
Dano, yeah.
Oh, Dano. Yeah, and he's, I just had a feeling about him that he was going to do some more really good work. He's very interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him as an actor. And of course, Steve, how come I'm blanking on people's names? Because I'm old.
Carell.
Carell. I got to talk to him a little bit because I saw him in not The Office, but the Tom Papa. Tom Papa did a show. I forget what it was called, and he was like a co-star, and he was so funny in that. And so it was before, I think it was before The Office. Little Miss Sunshine was even before The Office. But yeah, and so he, Paul Dano, Steve Carell. It's like, so again, working with really good actors, and it's like they go on to do these wonderful things. It's like, and I just kind of zeroed in on him. It's like, oh, this person's really interesting. This person's really going to do some good stuff. And so yeah, and somebody handed me the script sit on the set as a prop, like to I was like the pageant one of the pageant coordinators, and so they handed me like a clipboard and some papers, and it happened to be the script of the movie, like to carry around as a prop. So in between the scenes, I started reading the script. Well, the director came over I think it was the director. I said, "Where did you get that?" I said, the prop person handed it to me." And they took it from me. It's like, what am I, I'm just reading the script. I'm working on the movie. I'm reading, it's the script. Like, what was I gonna do? I just thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, I acted like, like I'm trying to steal it or so. I don't know. It was just weird. I said, well, the prop person gave it to me to use in the scene.
Well, on a more positive note, I was looking through your credits and I was like, getting a refresher here. Oh God, Book 2, George Burns. That must have been an experience.
Again, you grow up seeing these people, and then there you are, working with them. It's just so exciting. I mean, I just always have been and still have, such a movie geek, and so it was very exciting. I was working in the casting department at Warner Brothers for a while as a casting assistant, so that's how I got into some of these things. And so it's like I look at what we're casting, like, ooh, I could do that. All these little parts. Yeah, I've been in some really interesting things, a lot of cult films, and I decided to call myself the bit part queen of cult films.
You're an Airplane 2.
So many fabulous things. I mean, I never had really big roles. I never made a lot of money, but I've been in some good shit.
You ever see Paul Rubens anymore?
Once in a while, and Oh, we contact each other at Christmas time and birthdays.
Did you
And
take his bike?
I did work on the third film.
Mm-hmm.
I played a stylist for Joe Manganiello. So he's getting ready for his birthday party, and I'm showing him suits to wear. It's like, come on, dude. How about this one? It's like, but here's a list of some of the things. I worked on Bad Santa, Private Benjamin.
I love Bad Santa.
I
What
love
what what
Bad
did
Santa.
now what did you do on that?
I got cut out. I was a shopper in the mall where he's doing his Santa thing, and I walked right in front of him when he gets off the escalator, but I got cut.
Oh man, I love Bad Santa.
I had to buy a copy of it so I could watch it every year. Yeah. Just
Private Benjamin. I mean, your fellow Carrie actor PJ Souls was in that.
yeah. I worked on Scarface.
Oh, wow.
Every once in a while when something occurs to me, I write it down. So I'm trying to go through my list here of stuff I've worked on. I mean, it's just been, when I think about it, it's just, wow, there's some really good stuff here.
Any memories of Goldie Hawn and Private Benjamin?
Oh, not really too much. I mean, I remember in the induction scene, like standing behind her and watching her, get sworn in and stuff like that. So, a lot of these, I just have like little snippets of memories, here and there. And
Oh, they should have kept you in Bad Santa. I watch that every year.
I do too.
I love Bad Santa.
And then whatever happened to her, Heather, what's her name? She was so cute in that, the girlfriend.
Oh, Lauren Graham.
Oh, Lauren Graham. I'm not Heather Graham. Lauren Graham. Yeah, she's so cute in that. And the kid, don't see Bad Santa 2. Don't see it.
You know what? I saw Bad Santa 2, and I'm gonna tell you, it did the same thing that Ted 2 did. Both misfired. Like, here's the thing. They had to figure out a way to write Lauren Graham out because she wasn't coming back for the sequel, and I don't know. It didn't work. Ted
Didn't
2,
work.
huh?
It didn't.
No, it didn't work in the sequel. It was nice to see. I think it was a great idea to have Kathy Bates play Billy Bob Thornton's mom, But all in all, I just felt disappointed with Bad Santa 2.
And the kid was too old. He was really cute, and it was working. His naivete was working because of the age he was, but when he got older, it wasn't working. And and it was just, raunchier and filthier just for the sake of it. And I didn't care for it. But the original's so funny. So funny.
Were you there on set when he beat up the paper mache donkey?
Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
Oh man, Bad Santa was just one of those films that it's like, I can't believe they made this. There were parents taking their kids to it, and very disappointed parents. I wasn't disappointed, I'll tell you that.
I love Billy Bob.
Well, there's two versions of that film. They have the theatrical version, and then there's the director's cut. And for the first time ever, I gotta say, I prefer the theatrical version. Because in the director's cut, they have more of Tony Cox and his girlfriend, and they have they didn't like the narration at the beginning of it. I kind of liked hearing Billy Bob Thornton's narration, Maybe it's because he had just a great way of delivering it. But the director's cut, that all that there's some, it goes from them making their big steal and driving off to him being like in his hotel and getting the call, when he's drunk on his bed, to call from Tony Cox. It's that time of year again. And I guess the director, Terry Zwigoff, I think it is,
Mhm.
um, felt that the stuff he was doing in between there was unnecessary. I disagree. I love that whole sequence, that whole long sequence where he's on the beach, you know, and watching the girls, and he's making his own drinks, and the guy throws him over the bar. I love that. I loved it when he steals the car, picks the keys, and just tosses them, and picks a car and goes into this house. Like, I like he's eating the chicken leg there, and he gets up, and I guess he's plugged the toilets up and just drops the chicken leg in there and just go. And they thought that was unnecessary, the director did, but I disagree. I kind of like that because I like seeing what his life was like in
Mhm.
between. And
Mhm.
really, it didn't matter how much money he had. He wasn't going to be any happier. He wasn't going to improve himself. In fact, I think the most important line is when Tony Cox said, "You're just going to go off and you're just going to drink yourself, blah, 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 until I call you next year. If I call you next year, And that was very important, that sequence there. So Zwickov didn't like it, but I think it was something that the studio wanted shot in there. But I kind of like that whole sequence. So I kind of
Yeah,
am
I
in
did too.
favor. Like with Blade Runner, I like the director's cut better. I get it. But with Bad Santa, I gotta say I like theatrical better.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was the last film for John Ritter. Watching him get squeamish over those bad words.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Bernie Mac both gone, and watching them in those scenes together, and Bernie Mac just saying the wrong thing, and poor John Ritter just
And the dress department, three times a lady,
three times a lady.
the large dress department, three
Yep,
times.
three times a lady. But wow, no, I thought Billy Bob Thornton, he's been typecast to it ever since, because when he did the Bad News Bears remake, he was basically playing the same guy. But Bad Santa, I watch that every year. I like that
I
movie.
do too.
Yep.
Have
I
you seen
thought,
his show Goliath?
what's that?
Have you seen his show Goliath?
No, I actually, my TV's just set up to watch my Blu-rays.
Oh, yeah, I'm so behind on I can't keep up with everything everybody's watching, but I did watch Goliath, and I liked the first season and I liked the third season. The second season was a little weird, but I thought the third season was really good. He plays a lawyer, and I think he's only takes certain cases or whatever. It's like, so he's kind of, over the whole lawyering, but he gets personally involved in certain cases that he decides to take. And anyway, I like the show, but yeah, I'm way behind on what everybody's watching. Oh, I don't know. I can't keep up. It's like, whoo, I thought it's just too much. Can't keep up.
You ready for Halloween?
Oh, I'm gonna be Sleeping Beauty for Halloween. I'll be sleeping.
You're not gonna, when kids come to the door, you're not gonna pelt them with tampons.
Kids come to my door. I mean, I live in West Hollywood. It's Russians, old Russian Jews, gays, and me. There's no kids in my neighborhood.
Well, what if Nancy Allen shows up with all the other girls, and you guys are gonna go off and find a pig to create a bucket of insanity out of?
Oh God.
You can't pass that up.
Oh, well, West Hollywood has the big party, but it's been canceled the last couple years, and it'll probably be canceled again. And yeah, I don't know. Halloween ain't what it used to be, but I enjoy the time of year. And I like all the decorations and everything, and watching the movies. And do you watch Svengoolie on MeTV? He showed the original Dracula, which I hadn't seen in an
Oh,
age.
I've interviewed. I did a tribute to Bela Lugosi. I had his son on my show.
Oh, awesome. And so then he showed Frankenstein, the old
I
Universal.
had Sarah
Yeah,
Karloff on in tribute to Boris.
that's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. When somebody's passed away, I do tribute interviews. One of my finest. I had Hitchcock's granddaughter on, and that was fun.
Wow,
Yeah,
Greg, those are pretty cool.
yeah. Audrey Hepburn's son was on. Eldest son was on. That was pretty cool. You know, so if I can find them, they'll come on. I do them, and those are always fun. So
Oh, that's so great. Yeah.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
about you? You doing anything for Halloween?
Probably working.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 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 not this year. I'll be in Toronto. I'm in Toronto from the 28th to the 4th. I won't be working. I'm going to see my friend Lisa Langlois down there. She's from the movie class of 1984. She invited me to my first con, and we've been friends ever since. I should see if she'll dress up like Patsy, and I'll take her around trick or treating. I'll dress up like Mr. Norris, and I'm like, she's gonna be punny. She's gonna go around all the houses and get me treats. I'm sure she'll find that funny. Um, no, I always see her when I go down there. That's been a couple of years, so I'm looking forward to it. And people
When I
keep
was working, yeah, when I was working, we did more like with Dearly Departed tours. Of course, we did a Halloween horror, movie tour, and we we would have like some kind of little party or something at the shop. And when I was working at the visitor center in Hollywood, I always wore my witch's outfit, and the kids would come trick or treating. So that was fun to see all the kids in their little costumes. But now that I'm not working, and I don't know, it's like I haven't been to the West Hollywood Halloween party in a long time because it's too many people. It's
Mhm.
like they say there's a 500,000 people there. I don't know, that seems like an awful lot, but it is pretty darn crowded. But the costumes are great. I always watch it later on TV. They'll show it, some of the best costumes and whatever. But in the old days, it used to be, it was impromptu. Everybody would just go out, and now it's turned into a big corporate thing, corporate sponsored thing, and it's way too big. So I don't like crowds. I stay away.
Do you ever see anybody dressed as Carrie, like with the blood and the dress and all that?
Well, a few years ago, we did another fundraiser for, it was actually for Piper Laurie's elephant charity, and
Ah,
we did at Hamburger Mary's, we did drag queen bingo, and the bingo caller was dressed as Carrie with the bloody dress. Yeah, drag queen. Yeah, Carrie at the prom. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Piper Laurie didn't drag her out there by her hair and kicking and screaming and
That would have been something to see. Unfortunately, Piper didn't make it to her own fundraising
ah,
event because she was sick that night.
ah.
So yeah, it was too bad, but we all had a good time.
Who all was there? You were there with other members of the cast there?
Yeah, Nancy was there, PJ was there, Edie, Doug, me,
Doug Cox, who was so recluse, you'll go up to that.
William Cat was there. It was so great to see him. Yeah, we had a pretty good turnout for that one. That was even longer ago than 5 years. It was maybe 7 or 8.
William
Uh,
Cat's another one I can't seem to locate to have on here, but I'm waiting for one because I never know who's going to be at a con.
he's
Uh,
so nice. I saw him when Jan Michael Vincent passed away. There was a special get together with everyone from Big Wednesday
mhm.
to honor him, say goodbye to him. And saw John Milius and William Cat was there, and crazy Gary Busey showed up, and people I hadn't seen in 40 years. Yeah. So that was kind of a nice, reunion. I mean, it was bittersweet because it was a memorial service for Jan, but it was kind of like a reunion too. Seeing everybody from Big Wednesday, because that was another one of those things that I worked on where people, just really hit it off and stayed friends, and it was really a great experience as far as that goes. And so I saw William Cat then.
Yeah. No, I'm hoping to see some of these people at a con. They got to get you. They got to get you out to one of the Carrie reunions.
I'd go. I'd love to go. It would be fun.
Yeah, because there are these purists out there that want every signature. So I don't see why.
Oh, and I found out. I think Tommy actually told me that I do have a character name. I'm Trudy Bourne, I think. Bourne.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And in the gym sequence, when they're doing roll call, I do have one line, actually one word. It's like she calls out Bourne, I go, here.
Yeah. Well, at least you weren't chewing gum.
Where should I put it, Miss Collins?
Oh man. Nancy Allen. Yep. Nope. Well, you know what? Do you got any charities that you want to promote on here? Speaking of Piper Laurie's charities, what do you support and honor?
Well, anything with kids and animals. I mean, I was volunteering for the Amanda Foundation for a while until COVID hit, and so I'm really missing seeing all my doggies and kitties. But so Amanda Foundation is good, and there was something that I liked. I can't remember the name of it, but it was for foster children, and it was giving them little suitcases. So instead of schlepping their stuff around in a trash bag, they had their own special little suitcase with a stuffed animal in it and some books and games and stuff. So it cost $25 to create a little suitcase for the foster kids. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of it, but I'm sure people could find it if they wanted to look it up. But I thought that was really sweet to just make them feel special, instead of chattel, getting, just shoved around from place to place. Like they have their own little, suitcase to put their stuff in. So I thought that was sweet. So animals and kids.
Yeah. Do you have a kitty? I have a kitty.
Yes, I do. I have a big boy. David, come here, David. Say hi. Come here. He's a big boy. He's my big boy. There he is. Oh my God, they look alike. You got your kitty too? Oh, how funny. David, wait.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that, Skittles. Oh boy, he looks like I was excited to be on here as my cat. My cat's like, you're exploiting me.
Yeah, my big boy. He's a rescue. I got him from Amanda.
Yeah, mine's a rescue. And he's lazy. The lazy kitty.
So is mine. I thought my cat was old when I adopted him because he was like, he just laid around.
Kitty's like, you're using me for hits. You're exploiting me. I'm like, you don't do anything. You don't clean the apartment up. You don't make my meals. So I'm going to use you for hits.
Greg, they just lay around and look good. That's their job.
Kitty, you lay around and look good? I don't know what you're digging around for in your litter box. I thought he was looking for the lost ark. Harrison Ford already found it. Oh yeah, I know. That's painful to know after all that digging. Kitty said, "Gee, you exploited me." All I have to do is stick my pinky finger out and he'll come over and rub against it like he's doing now. Yeah. Is that your little hat behind you?
Oh, you know what? A friend of mine sent me this from Thailand, and I haven't worn it yet.
Oh, you can wear it
It's
now.
pretty
There
cute
you
though,
go.
huh?
You should have
Look
wore
at
that.
this. It's pretty cute.
See, you should have had that for Carrie.
Yeah.
You could have stood
Show
right.
up, show up, PJ.
Yeah,
Huh?
you.
Think that's something.
There you go.
Oh,
You could have wore that right alongside PJ Souls.
I don't know. I guess I haven't really had the nerve to wear it yet. I should. You know, the older I get, the more eccentric I want to be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll wear it to the market today.
There you go. There you go. You anything okay, do you have any social media where people can reach out to you? Where people can
No, I'm on Facebook. You know, that's about it. I practically live on Facebook. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have my IMDb. I have a fun little blog that I haven't written on in a while. And you know, I know I keep threatening that I'll write some more, but it's called The Hollywood Gal. So www.thehollywoodgal.blogspot.com. And I have about 20, 23 stories just about, you know, funny little experiences, things that happened, me growing up in Hollywood and working on movie sets and stuff like that. So that would be fun, I think, for some people to read. They're short, short little stories.
you have a lot do you have a story about Amy Irving not being a team player in the shower scene?
No, I didn't write about that yet.
You guys weren't thinking about throwing the tampons at her?
Oh, Amy. You know
Yeah.
what though? I have to say, she was very nice to me. She actually complimented me one day. She said, "Oh,
Mhm.
you were so good in the dailies." I'm like, "Wow, well, thank you." You know, it's like that was nice of
Amy
you. She
Amy
didn't have to
has
say. She didn't have to do that. You know, that was really
Amy's
great.
got nice eyes, and I always liked how she did her hair. She had something in there, and it would just go off to the side, and it'd be all frizzy and whatnot. Yeah, she had a nice face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really interesting look. Yeah.
yeah, she did. Actually, I think everybody in Carrie had an interesting look. Nancy Allen, PJ Souls. There was a lot of interesting
It
looks going on in
it
that
was a
movie.
great cast. It really was. Yeah.
Deidre with her bob, Edie with her
Yeah.
glasses.
You know, it's funny because, you know, everyone's, you know, you don't really realize, you know, oh, we're making this great movie. You know what I mean? You just you go to work and you know, it all comes together and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. And you know, I remember talking to the crew guys and they thought they were working on some piece of crap, you know. They're like, oh God, you know, And yeah. And now here 45 years later, we're still talking about it, watching it over and over again.
Isn't it interesting how that happens?
Mhm.
I often said in
That's the magic of movies.
1998, one of the highest grossing films was Armageddon, which I yawned watching that. But today, probably the most celebrated film that year is The Big Lebowski.
I love The Big Lebowski.
Same here.
I watched that movie so many times.
I love that film. But at the time, they didn't know how to market that film. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Sometimes, it's interesting the films that catch on.
And it takes a few viewings to like really start to
Mhm.
love it. You know,
Oh, I loved it right away.
you
That
did?
was
Yeah.
just, oh yeah, that was just one of those films, that,
The more you watch it, the more you like it.
yep, there's
And
quotable lines.
I think that it's one of John Goodman's best performances.
Hmm.
He is so hilarious in that.
I mean, it's like Bad Santa. I mean, I gravitated to that first time I seen it. I love those risque kind of movies.
Yeah, we both really like this offbeat stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else you want to plug or promote on here? Any upcoming projects you're involved in that you want to talk about on here?
Oh my God, like napping.
Napping?
No, I'm retired. I'm not doing very much these days, partly because of COVID, but yeah, I'm sort of retired from showbiz. If someone called me for something, I'd probably go do it, but I'm not actively trying to get work or anything. Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm in just like, oh, let's see what comes next. I'm not so sure. I feel like this time period is just like we just have to get through it. I know a lot of people are doing stuff, but I don't know. I haven't been really busy at all. Like I said, just reading a lot and yapping with my kitty and
It's always fun to nap with your kitty.
yeah, cooking good food and watching a lot of movies and yeah. So yeah, nothing to promote.
I work.
I'm different that way.
I worked through the whole pandemic.
Good
Worked
for you.
as a cleaner, and I'm going to tell you, the
Oh wow. Oh
last
great.
couple of weeks I felt it.
Yeah.
Yep, I felt it because there's a lot of people right now that don't want to work.
Yeah. Well, I lost my job because of the pandemic. I would still be working if this hadn't happened. I mean, it's just so sad because Dearly Departed Tours was in business for 16 years. And Scott Michaels built that business from nothing. And, it's like I worked with him for 5 years. And I worked with him after we closed the shop. I still worked with him from home for another year, just customer service, online stuff. But it was very sad. I'm still traumatized by that, that
It's not going to reopen
ended.
after things clear.
Well, he moved away, he sold his vans. I mean,
Oh,
we tried to keep it going. We thought, oh, maybe a few months, whatever. And then he started to try to do like one group, like one family private tours. And as this just kept going on and on and on, he just couldn't hang on. There wasn't enough coming in, and people are just too scared to take a tour. But so when he started the private ones, it would be one whole family, so your little pot of people, but it was a little bit expensive because he had to charge what it costs to do the tour, so
hmm.
he had to charge the same amount as a full van if it were only two people. You know what I mean? So it was one price whether you had 2 or 10 people, and he did a few of those, but no, he's on to other things. He's doing videos, and I think he's making another movie, and he moved away, he moved to Palm Springs. His whole life changed,
Hmm.
but and I'm still I'm still boo-hoo-hooing over Dearly Departed Tours, and he's like he's moved on. But
Well, it was wonderful having you come back on here
thanks, Greg.
today. Yeah, it was fun. I love doing these on Zoom. Last time I had you on, it was by phone, but
Yeah, yeah.
the station was closed down. It's open now, but I had done 30 interviews in 2020, and then lockdown happened, and I had about 30 people waiting. And I was like, I went the rest of the year not being able to do this. And one of my guests said, if she can do Zoom, I can do Zoom. I got set up with Zoom, and you're number 111, I think, this year. So I'm loving this. I love the fact I can see people, and I got Nancy Allen. That was one of my big worries because Nancy and I were in talks before the lockdown. Then the lockdown hit, and that was my biggest worry, was losing out on Nancy, but I got her. So
That's so great.
yeah.
Well, kudos for what you're doing, Greg. I think it's wonderful. It's great for the performers, and it's great for the fans, and everybody has a
Hmm.
good time. And so, thank you so much, and for thinking I was worthy of your show.
I think you're worthy of my show. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't I? I thank you for considering myself worthy to be talking to you. Are you kidding me? I'm the one who's honored.
You're just a movie geek too. We're all movie geeks.
I mean, it makes it much more fun when I watch Carrie to I look at you and I look at Nancy and I'm like, I've talked to you.
I
Had
know,
you
isn't it
both
great?
on.
I know. I
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Heard all the gory, goofy details. Yep. Well, before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Just state your name, say that you are Trudy and Carrie, and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Python's Paradise. Okay.
Hmm.
Hey, gang. This is Terry, Trudy, born in Carrie, and I'm talking to Greg Gilbert on Greg's Python Paradise.
Absolutely, and we're celebrating the 45th anniversary of Carrie. And on a side note, the 15th anniversary of Little Miss Sunshine. Now that we've made that little discovery on here.
Right.
Yeah, Abigail Breslin's grown up now. She's all grown up, fighting zombies now.
Good for her.
There you
Oh, how
go.
funny.
Went from Little Miss Sunshine to Zombie Land. I'm like, okay, let's stretch. She's protecting society. There you go. Well, I thank you so much for coming on here tonight, and yeah, I bid you luck. Stay safe out there, whether you're vaccinated or not. Personally, I got no dog in that fight. I like just keep as much peace with people as possible. So,
Exactly, Greg.
yep.
Thanks, and love you for what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You stay safe too.
Yeah, and wear that hat when you see PJ next.
Oh,
There you
God.
go. I think you could upstage her with that hat.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there you go. You take care, and God bless.
Okay, same to you, Greg.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye.